John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. Shelley Thomas at Federal.
You're up early today.
I've already been at my desk for 2 hours. How'd you like to work on one for me?
What's it about?
In cold, hard claim cash, it comes to exactly $12,482.16.
That's interesting. What does it mean?
Somebody's been filching a lot of merchandise over in Toledo, and it's beginning to hurt. Could you get over there and have a look around?
Sure. But it sounds like a police job to me.
Well, I don't expect any miracles, Johnny. I just want a good factual report on the whole business for my clients.
See you in an hour. John Lund in a transcribed adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Federal Insurance and Claims Adjusters, 2044 Appalachian Drive, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Costain matter. Expense account item 1, $49.15. Plane fare and incidentals, Hartford to Toledo. En route, I read over the details concerning the case. 37 stolen merchandise claims had been filed and paid off in what looked like a first-class shoplifting epidemic in Toledo. I parked my 2 bags at the Commodore Perry Hotel and went over to the main police station. Lieutenant Sturgis was in charge.
Sit down.
Thanks.
Federal Insurance and Claims Adjusters, huh?
That's right.
You're here to find out what we've been doing about all this shoplifting, is that it?
Well, we represent the insurance companies who've had to pay off on these theft claims.
Yeah, sure, I see. Well, where do you want to start?
Let me see. How about this Maumee dress shop, Lieutenant?
Okay. Uh-huh. Let's see. February 10th, proprietor Mrs. Bancroft registered a complaint with us that a dress and a coat were missing from the store racks. Well, we went over there and talked to her about it, made out the report as another shoplifting job, and put a description of the coat and the dress in the hot sheet.
Mm-hmm. Dress wholesaled at $113. Coat had a fur trim. Went at $395.
Yeah. Looked a little better than most shoplifting jobs to us. We had it in mind when we got another complaint 3 days later from a place over on Oak Avenue.
That'd be, Milady's Shoppy?
Yeah. Negligee and a silk robe.
Yeah, we covered that one, too. Both of them came to $286.
Yeah, same thing as a mommy. Clerks hadn't seen anyone, didn't know anything. The week of the 15th, we had 2 more complaints. On the 23rd, 3 complaints. They've been coming in regular ever since. Actually, the last one was 3 days ago. Always the best stores, always expensive merchandise. We rounded up every known shoplifter in our files, and we've had our store personnel at all of our lineups. No one's been able to make an identification so far. First, we thought it was a plain, expert shoplifting done by a well-organized gang.
Looks that way.
Not so much anymore. Did you notice on your list there that all of these items are for a woman?
Yeah.
Dresses, coats, blouses, cosmetics, millinery, costume jewelry, and so on. Now, what we didn't pick up until about a month ago was that all of the articles of clothing that have been taken are for a woman who wears a size 10 dress.
That is a funny one.
Yeah, and it rules out a gang right away. There's pattern to it, but I'm going to have someone else tell you about that.
Yes, Lieutenant?
See if Sergeant Beidler's in.
Right.
99 times out of 100, a shoplifter will take anything he or she can get her hands on, regardless of cost, size, color, or anything else. So we don't think this is the work of an old-timer either.
You mean somebody's just gathering up a nice wardrobe at my insurance company's expense?
Something like that. If any of these stolen articles have been sold or disposed of, we'd have a lead by now. The stuff has been on the hot sheet for months. We've covered pawn shops, second-hand store. Yes?
Sergeant Beidler on 2.
Right. Hello, Sergeant. How's it going?
Fine, thanks, Lieutenant.
There's a man in my office named Dollar. I'm sending him down to see you.
women in the department reacted a little differently than the men to all this.
How's that, Sergeant?
Well, when they went over the stolen property sheets, they were first impressed, of course, by the fact that all of the clothing was for someone who wore a size 10. The other thing, though, was the good taste.
Well, a lot of thieves have good taste, I suppose.
This one seems to have not only good taste, but a pretty exclusive taste.
You mean the expensive places that have been robbed?
Well, that, but even more. You see here,
Uh-huh.
on March 4th, one green suede coat missing from Toll's apparel shop, and here on the 13th. A brown organdy dress from the Commodore, and here, cocoa-colored sports coat.
Yeah?
Hats and gloves in green and brown, beige, sometimes yellow. No other colors.
Well, what does it mean?
Any woman who restricts herself to these particular colors in dressing, green, brown, beige, cocoa, yellow, must have a very definite coloring of her own. We think a redhead with green eyes.
Well, you know best about that. But, why green eyes? Couldn't they be blue or brown?
Yes, they could be. But there's been a particular emphasis on green in the coats and dresses that have been stolen. And besides that, there's the cosmetics. Did you cover Jaeger's?
Jaeger's, let me see. No.
Well, Jaeger's is a very plush cosmetics store here. Nothing but perfumes and makeup. They reported March 2nd, a whole box of green eyeshadow had been stolen from one of their counters.
And green eyeshadow only goes with green eyes?
Yes, whereas blue eyeshadow would fit a person with either blue or brown eyes. Now, at the same time the eyeshadow was taken, several tubes of lipstick and rouge were also stolen. Both of those items contained orange tinting. That gives us another reason for thinking the eyes are green.
I'm convinced. A redhead with green eyes.
Oh, and it's a short hairdo.
It is?
Look at my hair.
I am, Sergeant.
With a short hairdo like mine, I'd look rather ridiculous in a big picture hat that requires a hair frame. But a small hat, one with a tight contour, would be all right.
Hey, I'm coming around. The Case Millinery store, eh?
Yes.
4 hats. Total value $185?
Yes, those hats that were taken from cases were small, especially designed for a woman with a short hairdo. We think that some of the costume jewelry that's been stolen ties in with the clothes, too.
Uh-huh. Well, how does it stand right now?
Well, we've had our troubles on this one. It's impossible to tie up the manpower it would require to cover every dress and apparel shop in town, not to mention the department stores.
Sure.
We're doing the next best thing. No store has been taken a second time, so we've spotted a dozen policewomen from my department and as many stores around town that still hasn't been hit. And they're posing as clerks.
How long has this been going on?
Since Monday. Maybe we'll get a lead this way.
Yeah. Sergeant, this is just a wild one, but suppose a red-headed woman with green eyes isn't doing it after all. Suppose somebody's doing it for her.
We've thought of that, and it looks like a possibility. None of the personnel we've questioned in any of these stores has been able to say definitely whether or not they saw anyone with red hair on the premises or around the shop to fit the time incidents of the particular robbery.
I see.
And there's another thing we're working on, too, beauty shops.
Oh?
She's a redhead, and she's got all of these expensive clothes. It's a good bet she keeps herself up. You know, has her hair and nails done regularly.
Yeah.
We've covered about 50 different beauty salons in town, the best ones. Told them the kind of woman we're looking for and given them an idea of what she'll be wearing.
Well, if she's still in town, something should break pretty soon. I'd like to go over the original complaints, if it's possible.
Main filings on the 2nd floor. Ask for Sergeant Kelly, and he'll give you what you want.
I'll do that. Thanks a lot. After a full day and a half of studying the crime reports, I wholeheartedly agreed with Lieutenant Sturgis and Sergeant Beidler. Since none of the stolen articles had appeared in any of the usual places for disposal, I was convinced it was not the work of an organized gang or of a previous offender. All clothing that had been taken was the same size and a small variety of colors, and, as Sergeant Beidler had pointed out, suited only to a certain type of woman with definite physical characteristics: red hair, green eyes. Johnny Dollar.
I think we've got something here.
What?
The lead on one of the coats.
I met Lieutenant Sturgis in the police garage, and we drove over to Toll's apparel shop on West Oak Street. One of the clerks there had phoned in and reported she'd seen a woman wearing a green suede coat that had been stolen from the store a month before. The clerk's name was Alice Emerson.
I'm sure it was the coat.
Well, how can you be sure of that, Mrs. Emerson?
Well, it was the only one like it in the entire store. And as far as I know, in Toledo, it had a gathering at the back and gold buttons. I just knew that coat the minute I saw it on her. I just knew it.
Oh, this was about a half an hour ago, you say?
Yes, I was on my lunch hour, and I was eating at the Westgate.
The cafeteria?
Yes. She was about 3 people ahead of me in the line. I didn't remember at first that the coat had been from us, but when I sat down to lunch, I recalled it.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know what to do exactly. Then I thought, well, I'd better make sure it is the coat, you know. I wouldn't want to make trouble for anyone.
What did you do?
Well, she had a table over by the wall eating her lunch alone. So I finished my lunch, and I walked over near her, and I took a good look at the coat. It was our coat, all right. The one that was taken from that rack over there. I was going right out on the street and call a policeman, but I guess she got a little suspicious of me looking at her the way I did, and she got up and left.
What did she look like, Mrs. Emerson?
Oh, she was a nice-looking woman. About my size, 30 or so. Very nice.
What color was her hair?
Dark. Very dark.
Dark? Black, you mean?
Or dark brown. I don't know which.
Did you happen to notice the color of her eyes?
No, I didn't, but she wore glasses. Horn-rimmed.
You're certain it's the same coat?
Oh, I'm positive.
Have you ever seen the woman before?
No, never. At least I don't think I have.
Nothing familiar about her at all?
No.
Did you happen to notice which direction she went in when she left the cafeteria?
No, I don't know where she went. She just got into a taxi cab.
I went with Lieutenant Sturgis to the offices of the taxi cab company that covered metropolitan Toledo. There we began checking the way bills as they came in. Since less than an hour had elapsed from the time Mrs. Emerson called in, we didn't have to go through too many of them. At the intersection of Oak and Westgate, which was right in front of the cafeteria, cab number 418 had carried a fare to a hotel apartment house called the Colonial on the east side of town, Yondota Street. We spoke with the driver of the cab on the phone when he checked into the office. He remembered the fare. A woman in a green suede coat. Try that.
Yeah.
Hello, can I help you?
Police.
Oh?
Sometime in the last hour, a cab brought a woman to this address. We'd like to talk to her. She's about 5'4", about 30, dark hair, wearing a green suede coat. You know her?
Well, let's see.
Wore horn-rimmed glasses?
Well, I've got 175 apartments here. Wait, a green suede coat?
Yeah.
Well, Miss Jones.
Jones, huh?
Yes, Lillian Jones. She just checked in 2 days ago.
Alone?
Yes.
What apartment is she in?
1429. Shall I ring her?
No, never mind. We'll just go on up. From the description we gave the desk clerk at the Colonial Apartments, he identified our suspect as Lillian Jones, apartment 1429. She'd come in approximately 20 minutes before we'd arrived. As far as the clerk knew, she was still in her apartment. We took the self-service elevator up to the 14th floor.
Ought to be down this way.
Hey, wait. 1410, then it goes to 21.
Yeah. Oh, the corridor.
Oh, yeah.
Lillian Jones?
What do you want?
Police. Like to talk to you.
Oh, just a minute.
May we come in?
We can talk here.
It'll be easier inside.
Here's all right for me.
Let's go inside, Miss Jones.
Okay. What's this all about?
A woman who works at Toll's apparel shop saw you in the Westgate cafeteria at lunchtime today. She said you were wearing a coat that was stolen from them.
She's a liar. I don't even know where Toll's apparel shop is.
She was pretty certain about it.
I've been here all day. I had my lunch here.
Anybody with you?
What do you mean?
Did you eat alone?
Sure, I ate alone.
Miss Jones, we can get the woman from Toll's to come over here and identify you.
Say, listen.
And we can get the cab driver who brought you here to identify you, too.
They'd all be lying. I've been here all day.
Can you prove it?
Sure, I can prove it.
Clerk downstairs said you just came in about 20 minutes ago.
He's lying, too.
It's a green suede coat. You have a green suede coat?
No. Listen, you just get out of there.
Where's the coat, Miss Jones?
I don't know what coat you're talking about.
A green suede coat. Now, what'd you do with it?
I don't have a green suede coat.
Do you have any objection to our looking around?
You bet I have.
All right, we'll get a search warrant. I'm afraid you'll have to come with us, Miss Jones.
I'm not going anywhere with anybody. Get out of here. Get out of my apartment. I'll make plenty of trouble for the both of you.
Come on, Miss Jones.
Lillian Jones had a record of one previous arrest 2 years before. The charge, grand theft. She'd been released for lack of evidence. Her profession was listed as a domestic. The saleslady from Toll's apparel shop appeared and positively identified her as the woman she had spotted in the Westgate cafeteria wearing the stolen coat. The cab driver who'd driven her from the intersection of Westgate and Oak to the Colonial Apartments was called in. He also identified her. She still refused to admit anything, maintaining that she hadn't left her apartment all day. Lieutenant Sturgis took a detail of men to her place to search the premises. I stayed with Sergeant Beidler while she questioned Lillian Jones.
Why won't you tell us what you did with the coat, Lillian?
I don't know what coat you're talking about. Honest, I don't.
Mrs. Emerson saw you wearing it at the cafeteria today. The cab driver saw you wearing it. The clerk at your apartment desk saw you wearing
They're
it.
all liars. I don't own a green suede coat. You people have no right to hold me like this and ask me all these questions. I haven't done anything.
What did you do with the coat?
There isn't any coat.
Where'd you hide it?
I want a lawyer. Can I call a lawyer?
Tell us about the coat. You stole it from Toll's apparel shop on March 4th. Isn't that right?
I don't know anything about Toll's apparel shop. I told you.
It's on Oak Street.
I'll drop in and say hello sometime.
What about the other thing?
What other thing?
You know what we're talking about, Lillian. Why don't you get it off your chest? We'll find out sooner or later. Who are you working with?
I want a lawyer.
Where's it hidden?
I want a lawyer.
You can make a statement now and save yourself a lot of trouble.
I want a lawyer.
We continued to question Lillian Jones regarding the green suede coat. She denied ever having such a coat in her possession. However, at 3:45 that afternoon, Lieutenant Sturgis returned with his detail of men. They had found the coat, stuffed into a clothes hamper.
I took it over to the shop, and the people there positively identified it as the one stolen on March 4th.
Yeah?
Yeah, it had their label and one of their stock tags in the pocket.
Well, that should do it.
I don't know what we've uncovered here, though. There wasn't anything else in the apartment that fit any of the other thefts.
Yeah? Well, you can hold her on this.
Oh, sure. I'll have her booked in right away.
Lillian Jones was charged with grand theft. Before she was taken to the main jail, she admitted that she had stolen the coat. But not from the apparel shop. From the home of a family by the name of Costain. She said she'd been employed there for 2 weeks as a domestic servant. Mr. Costain was a civil engineer with offices in downtown Toledo. They informed us that he'd already left for his home, so we drove out there to interview him. It was a large 12-room place on the edge of town. A servant took us into the living room. A few moments later, a tall, gray-haired man in his early 50s made an appearance.
I'm Mr. Costain.
I'm Lieutenant Sturgis, Mr. Costain. This is Mr. Dollar.
How do you do? Police?
That's right. They hate to bother you around dinner time like this.
Quite all right. Sit down, please.
Thanks.
We're holding a woman downtown named Lillian Jones, Mr. Costain. I understand you employed her at one time.
Lillian Jones? Oh, the maid, yes. Is she in trouble?
We're just checking her story.
I see.
She was in possession of a green suede coat at the time we took her in, Mr. Costain.
Mm-hmm.
She insists that she took the coat from your home.
Why would she say a thing like that?
Well, we don't know. We thought maybe you could clear that up.
I have no idea what she's talking about. I fired her last Tuesday, I believe it was. That was the last I saw of the woman.
Was she very angry when you fired her?
Not particularly. It's just that she didn't work out here very well. I gave her 2 weeks' pay, told her to go.
It's a green suede coat with gold buttons down the front.
I don't know where she got it, I'm sure, but I know she didn't get it here.
Funny she'd tell us she stole it from here.
Yes, it is. But I don't know why.
Is Mrs. Costain at home?
Mrs. Costain passed away last February.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a daughter?
No.
Well, we have to check into all these things, you know.
Oh, I understand. I wish I could help you.
You can if you will, Mr. Costain.
How's that?
Would you mind dropping into my office tomorrow and taking a look at the coat?
I don't know what good that would do, but I'll be glad to do it.
You just might recognize it. Perhaps it belonged to Mrs. Costain.
Possibly. Although I don't remember it.
Room 212 in the main building.
All right, Lieutenant. I'll be there in the morning.
Fine.
Sorry to have bothered you.
Not at all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Did you see it?
The color print on the piano?
Yeah. A red-headed woman with green eyes.
A check in the neighborhood revealed that the Costains had been living in Toledo less than a year. Before that, they'd lived in Detroit. Financially, they were in the upper income bracket. The house was completely paid for. There were 2 expensive late-model cars in the garage. The Office of Vital Statistics informed us that Mrs. Costain had died on February 6th of a heart condition. It also noted that her hair had been red, her eyes green.
Lieutenant Sturgis, robbery. Oh, yes, of course. I see. Well, are you going to be home? Fine. Arnold Costain.
Yeah?
Yeah, he just changed his story. He said he did know that Lillian Jones stole that coat when she left the house.
You give any reason for not admitting it when we were there?
No, just wants to see us.
I'm afraid I've caused you some trouble on this.
Well, we don't quite understand why you didn't tell us about it last night.
It's rather simple, probably rather silly. I have a devil of a time keeping servants here for some reason. If a notice got in the paper I'd accused one of them of theft, well, I'd have a difficult time getting another one. They're that way.
That coat's worth over $600, Mr. Costain.
Yes, I know. It belonged to my wife.
And you let it go like that?
Oh, I'm insured for personal loss.
Did you report this to your insurance broker?
Oh, yes.
Did you file a claim?
Yes.
What's your broker's name?
Mr. Levant. He has offices in the Metropolitan Building.
When did you report the loss?
On Wednesday.
You mind if I call him and check this?
I don't see why that's necessary. I've just told you what I did about the matter.
Oh, we're still puzzled, Mr. Costain. That coat was reported stolen from Toll's apparel shop last March 4th.
That's absurd, of course. Mrs. Costain bought that coat for herself a week or so before her illness.
Did she handle it, or did you?
What do you mean?
Well, did she pay for it, or were you billed?
I suppose I was billed. I don't recall. Are you insinuating that Mrs. Costain might have stolen that coat?
No, Mr. Costain. Your wife was already dead when that coat was stolen.
Oh, no. You're wrong.
What do you mean?
Edna's not dead. She'll come back. And when she does, I'll have all these things for her. The things I denied her before.
Denied her?
Yes. I always told Edna she was too extravagant, that she didn't need all those expensive things.
Well, you could have bought them. Why did you steal them?
I always denied her the things she loved. When Edna went away, I don't know what came over me. I mean, loneliness seemed too much somehow. And I'd go out during the day from my office and wander through the stores that she used to love very much. And whenever I had the opportunity, I stole the things she always wanted.
What did you do with them?
They're in Edna's bedroom, hanging in her wardrobe. Would you like to see them?
Expense account item 2, $75.25, board and room while in Toledo. Item 3, $62, miscellaneous. Item 4, $41.10, plane fare back to Hartford. Expense account total, $227.50. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars John Lund in the title role and was written by E. Jack Newman with music by Milton Charles. Featured in tonight's cast were Hal March, Hy Averback, Edgar Barrier, Virginia Gregg, Mary Lansing, and Peggy Weber. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, was transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. This is Charles Lyon, inviting you to join us again next week at this same time when, from Hollywood, John Lund returns as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Frank Ahern at Universal Adjusters, Johnny.
Oh, hi. How are you, Frank?
Well, a little worried at the moment. Can you help me out?
Well, that depends on what I have to do.
I have to take a little trip for one thing. The farm near Lexington, Kentucky.
Well, it's a slow time of the year to get out in the country. What else?
Talked to a man named Calcor there. Had a race horse that's insured for $65,000.
I'd hate to have to pay the premium on that kind of policy.
Well, that's just it, Johnny. Got a wire on my desk here from a man in Calcor's business office. The horse was seriously injured and had to be destroyed.
Wow. No wonder you're worried, Frank. I'll be right over. John Lund in another adventure of a man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
While we take a breather from our program, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you know who Uncle Sam's lawyer is? If your answer is the Attorney General, you're absolutely right. But being legal advisor to the President and other governmental agencies is only part of his job. His main task is running the Department of Justice, which makes sure that the laws passed by Congress are carried out, and that lawyers are available when the government must be represented in court. Let me give you an example. Suppose there is some question concerning the amount or kind of tax you should pay, or suppose you and the government don't agree as to which of you owns certain land. That's when the Department of Justice steps in to represent the government side of the case. If anyone is brought to trial for counterfeiting, smuggling, gold hoarding, or passport forging, the Department of Justice prosecutes the case. It also handles all matters dealing with legal immigration. And all of this activity is the responsibility of an important member of the President's Cabinet, the Attorney General. Just as it is the duty of the United States government to protect each and every one of you, it is the duty of the Attorney General to protect the government of the United States.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Universal Insurance Adjusters, Suite 814, Kittredge Building, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Oklahoma Red matter. Expense account item 1, $107.80. Airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Lexington. Item 2, $5.50. Transportation from the airport to the Great Southern Hotel, where I checked in and changed clothes. Then to an address on Peach Avenue, Calgore and Company, Incorporated. Mr. Calgore is never here, Mr. Dollar. Spent all of his time at the farm. You'll have to see him there. Well, maybe I won't have to bother him at all. How about Mr. Monroe? Mr. Monroe isn't with Mr. Calgore's office anymore. Well, that's funny. He was yesterday afternoon when he sent my company this wire about the policy. He and Mr. Calgore ended, please. I might as well tell you. Oh. Well, is there anybody else around here I can talk to about this? I think you'll have to see Mr. Calgore. A phone call to the Calgore Farms disclosed that Mr. Calgore was out for the day. Another half hour of conversation in the office, and the reluctant clerk finally gave me a name and an address. He was a tall, lanky man who never took his hat off. Dr. Pierce, veterinarian. Bald Oklahoma Red, huh? The people who wrote policy sent me down from Hartford. Is there something wrong? Matter of procedure, Doctor. Mr. Calgore's office has filed claim for a $65,000 indemnity. Apparently, Mr. Monroe, who handled these things for Mr. Calgore, is no longer with him. Yes, I understood the quarrel. And Mr. Calgore is not around at the moment. I don't get it. If Lloyd Calgore has been buying that much insurance, he's got a right file claim for it. Just good business to get the price, that's all. You treated him? Yes. The wire said something about a piece of machinery. A tractor with a blade earth. Red back into it, hard. Cut through his right hamstring all the way to the bone. You make out a report in a case like this? In honesty. The animal's just like it, Only had my lively with first or hurt sometimes. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Oh. Most of the tenders were cut, huh? Those that weren't fettered were arrested. Uh-oh. Yeah. This notation about the carcass. Cremated on the premises. Why so fast? Calgore wanted it that way? Well, that'll make my job a little more complicated. Unless you took some x-rays. There was no need to. Well, if he could already fit in by the time I got there. What do you need him for? Proof that the injury occurred more than anything else. Mr. Calgore called you right after it happened, did he? That's right. I got there maybe 10 minutes later. Lloyd was alone with the horse. The minute I laid eyes on that animal, I knew. And you advised Mr. Calgore he had to be destroyed? I didn't have any choice. Did you consider calling in another vet? Oh, you see, man. Did Mr. Calgore ask you to call in another vet? No, Mr. Dollar. He took my word for it. Why don't you? Part of my job, Dr. Pierce. I can't take anybody's word for anything. Expense account item 3, 30 cents. For the 5 airmail stamps, it took to mail a copy of the complete injury report to a veterinarian service in Cleveland. Item 4, $25, car rental. That afternoon, I drove out to the Calgore breeding farm. Like most of the others I'd passed, it was complete with white fences, rolling hills, blue grass, and a stately colonial residence, just like the movies. A sullen, attractive girl in her early 20s met me at the door. I told her my name and who I wanted to see.
You have insurance salesman. You hear about Red. Well, what happened to him, aren't you?
That's right.
I'm Mr. Calgore.
I'm glad to know you.
How much did Daddy have Red insured for?
$65,000. I don't know whether I'm supposed to discuss this with you, Miss Calgore.
If Red had gotten on the tracks this year, he'd have doubled that, tripled the problem. There's not enough money in the world to affect that horse. He's a great horse.
He must have been. I'm sorry this happened.
Dad couldn't have stopped Red.
Oh, I understand he was injured beyond hope.
That's a lie.
What's that?
Dad couldn't have shot him. He just couldn't have done it. Red was the only thing around this whole place worth anything.
Wasn't the horse injured?
That's what they'll all tell you. But I can tell you something else.
What are you talking about, anyhow?
It was a terrible thing to do.
Go to your room.
It was just like murder, and you know it.
Lucy?
It was murder.
Stop it. time I've ever had to shoot a horse around here, she gets like that. And that way ever since she was a little girl.
I see.
I knew I'd have to put up with her acting like that. But I'm reluctant to apologize to you for her actions. Ed Pierce told me you were in to see him.
I wish you hadn't. I intended to tell you myself, Mr. Calgore. If I've offended you, I'm sorry for it.
Makes you look like I'm doing something shady. You could have come to me instead of going to him.
I tried to. We have to go to everybody. Dr. Pierce ordered the horse destroyed. Seemed like a fair opening to go to him, and that's why.
What do you want from me?
All the information you can give me about the accident. Now, no matter what you think of me or my methods, I'm the man assigned to this case. This report has to be complete before your claim can be paid.
You always handle a case this way.
Well, that's the way I'm handling this one.
They don't know what they're doing sending a man like you here.
You filed a claim by wire. What did you expect?
That fool Monroe filed the claim. I'd have waited until things around here calmed down a little.
Is that why you fired him?
That's one reason. Are you here to accuse me of something?
Look, there's $65,000 at stake here. We'll pay it out when we're satisfied all the circumstances were proper and not before.
I'm not afraid of you, Dollar, or your insurance company. I don't like your snooping around my office talking to my friends about me. No man would.
If I don't get my information from you, I'll get it somewhere else. What I've seen of you so far and what information I have got hasn't been in your favor.
I don't like that kind of talk.
You don't seem to like anything about this. Now, how about it? Do we keep this up, or do we get down to business?
The trainer was bringing Red back from his exercise. Outside the stall, Red got scared. Mouse or something, and he reared back into that blaze. When Doc got here, he said Red didn't have a chance, so I shot him, that's all.
This trainer, what's his name?
Jim Knight. He isn't around anymore. I fired him right then and there. Told him to get off my property.
Who else was there?
No one. The rest of them were up at the house having dinner.
Oh, fine. How about right afterwards?
I just called Dr. Pierce. We handled it.
Been better if you'd left the remains for us to examine.
Dollar, I got maybe 150 head on this farm. Now and then accidents happen. If one of my stock is dead, I get rid of it as fast as I can. That's the way I operate.
Oh. Where can I get in touch with Jim Knight? Where did he go?
I don't know. He took the things and cleared out as fast as he could. He knew better than to hang around here.
What do you mean by that?
What I said, he knew better. That's what I mean.
Did your daughter see any of this?
Lucy. You know those crazy things she was saying when I walked into the room?
In view of the crazy circumstances, what she was saying might be worth listening to.
Pipe dream.
I'd like to talk to her just the same.
Abbott! Abbott!
Yes, Mr. Calgore, come.
You can talk to anybody you like, Dollar. You've already got all the information you're going to get from me. Yes, sir, Mr. Calgore? Yes, sir. Show him out. This way, sir.
Never mind. I can find my own way. When I left Lloyd Calgore, I wasn't sure whether I'd talk to a sane man or not. Calgore's belligerent attitude seemed to permeate the whole farm. The horse handlers I talked to were grumbling and complaining, and I was able to learn nothing from them except a Baltimore address for Jim Knight. However, I did talk to Lucy Calgore again, down by the stable.
I thought you left a long time ago.
I wanted to talk to you before I did.
What about, Mr. Dollar? Your business is with my dad, not with me.
Well, pardon me if I seem a little confused. Earlier today, you were very anxious to tell me something.
Was I?
Yes, you were. What is this, anyhow?
I wish we hadn't met at all.
But we did. And you said there was no need to destroy the horse after it had been injured. Did you mean the horse could have been saved? Did you have a reason for saying something like that?
I've just been very upset lately. All of us around here have.
Yeah, I'm getting that way myself.
Red was the best horse we've had in the stable for 5 years. We've all been counting on him since he was a colt. Oh, and this stupid thing happened, it just turned all of us upside down.
Is that your explanation for the things you said to me?
Yes, for the moment. Please don't ask me any more questions right now.
The Calgores were turning out to be a dandy pair to deal with. Back in town, I checked on Calgore's financial situation. It was good, as far as the local banks were concerned. Expense account item 5, $2.20, telegram. One to Hartford requesting further information regarding Calgore's credit standing. The other to Baltimore, Maryland, addressed to Jim Knight. The next morning, I received an answer to the latter. Johnny Dollar.
Baltimore, Maryland, calling Mr. Dollar. You want to hold on?
Sure.
Ready here with your call to Lexington. Go ahead. Oh, dear. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Is this Mr. Dollar, the man who sent the telegram?
Yes? Who's this?
I'm Jimmy Knight's mother. The wire said it was important for him to get in touch with you. I thought I'd better call and tell you where you could reach him.
Well, that's very kind.
Now, he's at the Caldor farm near Lexington. You can reach him there through Mr. Lord.
Wait a minute.
Caldor.
He left there 3 days ago, Mrs. Knight. Didn't he come home?
Why, no. Well, are you sure he isn't at the Caldor place?
I'm positive. Do you have any other ideas where he could be?
No. But this doesn't sound like him, Mr. Dollar. He wouldn't just go off without letting me know about it.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure he's my son. Maybe there's something wrong.
Yeah. Maybe there is. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. When I talked to Jim Knight's mother in Baltimore, the Caldor claim was just about at a draw. I had a strong suspicion that the death of the horse had not occurred as reported. On the other hand, I had found no apparent reason for Caldor to do away with an animal that was evidently more valuable than the insurance it carried. It came down again to searching for the only other witness, Jim Knight. I promised his mother I'd have him contact her if I found him anywhere around Lexington. But that didn't seem likely after re-questioning several people at the Caldor farm.
Now, this is where Mr. Knight stayed all the time he was here, Mr. Dollar.
Uh-huh.
You can see for yourself it's all cleared out. Not a stitch left.
Did you happen to see him leave?
No, sir. Right after the accident, he's gone. Just like that.
I wonder if any of the others saw him.
We talked about that. Nobody saw him go.
Did he have a car?
No, sir.
Well, he had to have a suitcase or two. How do you suppose he got away from here, then?
They had him, I guess. I don't know. You could have lugged him out to the road and flagged yourself a ride or waited for the bus.
Maybe someone drove him?
Miss Lucy might have, sir. She drove Mr. Knight around now and then.
That business you were telling me about before, it'll have to be looked into, Lucy.
Who's that?
Because you intimated that your father and Dr. Pierce might be lying about the whole thing. You realize that if there's any truth to that, your father would be liable to criminal charges.
I know. I was just trying to put Dad in a bad light.
Well, he's not in a very good one right now.
It was just a spite, and I thought of it, too. See, Dad and I have been arguing for weeks now.
And when I walked in the door yesterday, you saw a way to get back at him, is that it?
Something like that.
Is that Oklahoma Red up there?
Mm-hmm. I took the picture myself.
Well, I'm no horseman, but he looks like a lot of horse.
He was. You know that the worst broken-down plug who ever pulled a junk wagon has more dignity than any man who ever lived?
Well, that's one way of looking at it. What's the trouble between you and your father?
A man named Jim Knight. Used to work here as a trainer.
Yeah, I heard. I was going to ask you about him.
Yes, I thought you might. Jim and I saw quite a bit of each other, and Dad never liked that.
Why?
Well, I suppose because I'm all he has left. Mother and Bob, he was my older brother. They were killed in an accident a few years ago. Dad had been looking for an excuse to get rid of Jim.
Your father doesn't strike me as the kind of man who'd have to give an excuse to fire someone he didn't like.
You think he's mad?
What?
Nothing. Jim was a good trainer. Very good with red, and that's important. When the accident happened, I can imagine what Dad had to say to him when he fired him.
You know where I can find him now?
No. He didn't say a word to me when he left. Not even goodbye.
Lucy, you suppose your father will ever calm down enough so I can talk to him?
I don't know. The Cowgirls have always been a terribly angry bunch of people. Very emotional. There doesn't seem to be much of a let-up these days.
Is that what you meant when you asked me if I thought he was mad?
I suppose so. It's almost as if he's on the verge of something lately, something desperate. His moods frighten me sometimes. They didn't used to. And I was thinking, a couple of years ago, Daddy bought a new car. We were out driving one day, and something went wrong. Well, he was so angry, he just smashed it into a cement wall and left it.
Lucy, tell me about Jim Knight.
I was in love with him from the first day he came to work here. I still am. That's all there is to tell.
I saw Lucy Calgore again the following afternoon. I returned to talk with her father. He told me he was gone and wouldn't be back until evening. I spent some more time with the people on the farm, trying to find out anything that would help, but nothing did. That night, when I picked up my key at the hotel desk, there was a message to call Operator 18 in Hartford. It was Frank Ahern.
Calgore's got a very good rating with Dennis Ranch. He doesn't seem to be money.
Well, then that angle is practically out, Frank. There's just no reason for him to kill that animal that I can think of.
How about the others?
No one seems to know what happened to Jim Knight.
This, as far as we go, John?
Somehow I feel there's more to it. What it is, I don't know, Frank. It beats me.
Well, how about going to the police and asking them to help you locate Knight?
Something just occurred to me, Frank.
What?
Calgore hasn't threatened to go to the insurance commission or to sue us yet.
That's usually pretty standard procedure with a man like this.
Yeah, it is. If he's got a just claim.
What is it now, Mr. Dolly? It's late.
I just talked to my office in Hartford, Dr. Pierce. They aren't very happy with the way this case has been going.
Is that so?
They're about ready to close it and call me home.
Well, you mean they'll pay the claim?
No, I don't mean that at all.
Huh?
Look, Doctor, I spent some time checking you out because you're one of the parties who can help settle this thing. You've been in practice around Lexington for 32 years. People think a lot of you.
And they take my word.
Well, I don't. I can't. I'd hate to see a nice guy like you get the book. I think I can stop it if you'll cooperate.
The book? What do you mean?
Forget I'm an insurance investigator. I'm just a guy giving you some information. When I said my adjustment company's ready to close the case, I mean that Calgore will have to sue for a settlement. In court, he'll have to produce Jim Knight and prove his story. With what we have so far, he'll lose the suit, and the insurance company will file charges against him for attempting to defraud. And they won't fool around. There's no outfit tougher than an insurance company when somebody's trying to cheat him. And, you'll have to be in court, too. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, how about it?
I've been his son 18 years.
And he asked you to lie for him. That's understandable to me. But in a court, it's perjury. False testimony.
What do you do to me?
That's up to the company. I'll have to hear your part of it first.
Oklahoma Red was dead when I got there. He hadn't been in any accident. Lloyd made me promise to tell you that. Lloyd just got it.
Just shout it. Why?
Well, Red wasn't the horse Lloyd thought he was. Great confirmation that he just wouldn't run. Lloyd got the money. Shot.
And Knight saw it. Is that it?
Yeah. Lloyd probably gave him some money to go with. I don't know. He's losing his mind, I think.
I've heard that about him before.
From who?
Lucy?
Yeah. She had a reason. Like I said, I've known Calgore for 18 years.
Expense account item 6, 35 cents. I lost it in a payphone trying to get in touch with Calgore. No one answered, so I drove out. Somebody in there. Open up. Open up. Open up, somebody. Open up.
Mr. Dollar, sir. Good evening.
Hello, Abbott. Can you hear me?
Mr. Dollar, maybe this ain't such a good time to be coming around.
Is Mr. Calgar back yet?
Yes, sir, he is, but
I'd like to see him.
Mr. Dollar, please,
You go on ahead.
All right, Miss Lucy.
Hello, Johnny. Dad's not in a very good mood.
Neither am I. Hey, you've been crying. What's this?
Oh, I just wish you'd be able to do anything.
There now.
Oh, Johnny, I'm very happy.
Take your hands off her.
What?
I said take your hands off her. I'll kill you.
Oh, be careful.
I told you. I'd kill one man for that kind of thing. Lucy, baby.
No, don't touch me.
What?
Johnny,
Pretty heavy pain.
I'll get a doctor.
No, Where'd he go?
I don't know. What that was? Johnny, did you hear?
About killing someone else?
He was talking about him. Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
I called the local sheriff's office and then took a look around the grounds. All the cars were still in the garages. Then I heard some sort of disturbance near the stables.
Don't come any closer. I've got a shotgun here.
I got a gun, too.
Go away from here.
The police will be here any minute. This won't do you any good. Calgar. Be better if you're in the house, ready to make a statement. Dr. Pierce told me he lied for you. And you said you killed someone. Was it Jim Knight?
I told you to go away from here.
You'd better come out.
I'm going to pay a whole bunch of you.
Don't do anything foolish. You didn't have to do it this way, Calgar. Lie still.
Nice body. Under the floor. All these things we know about Red.
I know.
Nice tried to stop him. But it was crazy. I'm not, am I, Dollar?
Take it easy.
I'm not crazy.
Well, that's that. Expense account item 7, $37.50, miscellaneous. Item 8, same as 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $286.45. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.